Have you rated and reviewed Marijuana Today daily on iTunes yet? If not, can you? It goes a long way in helping us grow our audience and is a great way for me to hear about things that I could be doing better. Just search for the term marijuana on iTunes and let us know what you think. This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by the good folks over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. When you need to get legal cannabis products delivered to you in less than an hour, and if you live where Ease is active, you're just a few clicks and keystrokes away from getting your order in, assuming, of course, that it's during legal delivery hours. Then you just sit back, relax, and wait less than an hour for your Ease order to be delivered. Ease only partners up with the top dispensaries in their active areas, so you know you're only getting top quality product at great prices. Check out the wide variety of properly tested, packaged, and labeled California legal marijuana products available through Ease by firing up ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. Big thanks to everyone over at Ease for the support that makes this show possible. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, July 17th, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 529 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Matt Lamers over at Marijuana Business Daily kicks off our Day O news with a story highlighting the huge growth in the amount of money raised by Canadian medical marijuana companies this year over last. In the first half of 2017, $222 million Canadian of investment money was raised by legal Canadian cannabis companies. In the first 6 months of this year, that total jumped to more than $3 billion Canadian, or around a 1,300% jump. That's extraordinary. Canada is, of course, transitioning to a full legal adult use system that is set to start on October 17th, so it's understandable that investor interest would soar. Even so, that's quite a jump. Pop over to Matt's story for more detail and background. Speaking of legal cannabis investing, the Desert Sun has a valuable piece up examining a company in Coachella, California that's working to raise up to $12.5 million of investment to start growing legal cannabis. The valuable bit about this one is the cautionary tale contained within, as that hopeful company Magic Dragon Realty is led by convicted felon and former owner of the NHL hockey team, the Edmonton Oilers, Peter Pocklington. Mr. Pocklington was charged just in April by the Securities and Exchange Commission with fraud, yet he's featured prominently on the website for Magic Dragon Realty. As the Desert Sun does a good job of pointing out, the numbers behind the Magic Dragon Realty business plan also are a little suspect, as they're telling prospective investors that they plan on growing 20,000 marijuana plants within 20,000 square feet of cultivation space, and that they expect to sell their marijuana at $2,000 a pound wholesale. Just a good reminder to always do your homework, be skeptical, and know your numbers, especially when investing. Our final top story this fine Tuesday is a look at a recent study out of Massachusetts that estimates around 1 in 5 adults of age use marijuana and that 1 in 3 admit to driving while high. This is a long-running storyline on the show, and Herb's piece nicely delves into the issue's complexities. As regular listeners know, it's not really clear just how much cannabis consumption actually impairs drivers, with plenty of studies backing up the assertion that most people operate cars just fine after smoking pot. There's also the issue of all the missing car accidents and pileups that have not been caused by cannabis. In states with more legal marijuana laws, the incident rate of car accidents is no different than those states that maintain illegality, despite what the number hackers at the Rocky Mountain high-intensity drug trafficking areas say. A good one to read and a good story to have a full handle on. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease knows that sometimes it's not easy to make it to your favorite local dispensary. Maybe traffic is crazy or you have company over on the way. Whatever's keeping you tied to the old homestead, Ease has you covered when it comes to getting you top quality legal cannabis products that are properly tested, packaged, and labeled. With deliveries taking place in under an hour, it's never been easier to get your hands on legal cannabis flower, concentrates, vape pens, CBD pet products, edibles, topicals, and consumption accessories. Don't delay one more day. OpenUpEase.com, spelled E-A-Z-E, and get your order started. Assuming, of course, that you're lucky enough to live in a part of California where Ease is active. And if you aren't so lucky to be in a place where Ease can deliver, you can still fire up their website to check out all the valuable bits of industry insight and analysis they've developed using their properly aggregated and anonymized sales data stream. That's ease.com. All right, time for the Blitz. Our buddy Tom Angel over at Marijuana Moments picked up on the news that the National Association of Counties, an organization made up of more than 3,000 U.S. county governments, formally called on the federal government to respect states' rights on the matter of legal cannabis. Yesterday, the association adopted a position plank that reads, quote, "The federal government should largely be responsible for regulating and enforcing against illegal drug trafficking while respecting states' rights to decriminalize cannabis under state law," unquote. They also pressed for greater access to banking for legal marijuana businesses. Open up Tom's piece for the full dive in. Boston.com checks in on the timing for legal adult use marijuana in the state of Massachusetts, which set July 1st as the first day that adult use dispensaries would be able to open up. That day came and went, though, without any adult use shops opening due to a number of factors laid out in Boston.com's story. Right now, the biggest roadblock for Massachusetts consumers to getting legal adult use from dispensaries is the lack of licensed testing labs, with the state's Cannabis Control Commission scheduled to meet next at the end of this month. If being caught up on things in the Bay State is important to you, I'd also zip over for this one. Tom Angel grabs another story today over Marijuana Moments with comments made by Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley, expressing his disappointment that a recent proposed amendment he filed to give state legal marijuana businesses more access to business banking services was blocked by a group of lawmakers that not only included Republicans, but also fellow Democrats. Senator Merkley was asked the question by BuzzFeed editor Ben Smith, who was prompted by Mr. Angel over Twitter to do so. This follows on recent news out of California of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee tweeting out that Republican Congressman Dana Rohrabacher should be defeated in November's elections because he supports cannabis. Democrats really need to pick up that being pro-marijuana is about as winning as you can get, like for real winning. Leafly takes a nice longer form look at how the fight to legalize medical marijuana is going in Mexico. The story is the second of a 4-part series focusing on our neighbor to the south and is one that you definitely want to open up and read today. Returning our newsy gaze to Oklahoma, we have Attorney General Mike Hunter announcing that his office would be undertaking a review of a pair of legal challenges to the state made last week after a set of emergency state rules for medical cannabis was adopted that, among other things, bans smokable forms of marijuana from being sold in licensed dispensaries. The 2 lawsuits were filed against the Oklahoma Department of Health and seeks to overturn the newly imposed restrictions. Yesterday, AG Hunter was quoted as saying, quote, "We will expedite this request in order to give clarity to the Department of Health on how to address this legal challenge. The review will be thoughtful, thorough, and transparent. We will publicly release the findings and recommendations provided when completed, hopefully by the end of the week," unquote. Marijuana Business Daily's chart of the week tracks the number of registered medical marijuana patients in 3 states, both before and after those respective states legalized adult use sales. Charted were the number of patients in Colorado, Oregon, and Nevada, and the story for all 3 is generally the same. When adult use sales came online, the number of registered patients fell. There are a lot of factors that combine to create this effect, which Eli McVeigh does a good job of laying out. I'd also add this one to your to-read list today. And finally, for today, it looks like New Jersey's on the verge of doubling the number of its licensed medical marijuana dispensaries from 6 to 12. Yesterday, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy announced that applications are due by the end of August for one of 6 new dispensary licenses to be handed out. New Jersey law stipulates that medical marijuana dispensaries be vertically integrated, meaning that each of the 6 new license holders will be responsible for growing, processing, and dispensing their products. The 6 winning applications will be picked later in November and should be up and running by next spring. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. What's the best thing to drink during a marathon? Running water. Duh. Thanks for our sponsor Ease and to all of our. Let me try that again. Thanks to our sponsor Ease and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today. Today.
One take, Shay. One take.